All right, I'm Beck Lane, and this is Catalyst and Company. And normally on Catalyst and Company, what we've been doing for 13 years is talking about art and artwork and being an artist and the life of an artist and kind of chronicling the ups and downs of me trying to get ahead, trying to get to where I want to be. And obviously, it still hasn't happened. But I've also had to shift focus. In the past few years, I've been working with social justice groups and LGBTQ organizations and kind of the underdog art organizations here in town. Um, always the underdog, always the underdog organizations. And everybody's flailing. Everybody is flailing right now. So I really put a focus on the very few videos I've made about about um, contacting Congress and trying to fight back. And it is a tsunami that we're trying to fight back. And today is July 5th. Yesterday, July 4th, Trump signed the simplistically named Big Beautiful Bill. It's so offensive. It makes me want to vomit the name of it. And I sat through all the hearings. I was actually painting. I have been painting, trying to anyway. But I listened to all the hearings leading up to the signing. I listened to people debate and try to be heard. But what we're seeing from the Democrats is still a milquetoasty appeal to MAGA Republicans, and MAGA Republicans do not care. They literally do not care. They want to push this big, beautiful bill through, or they have pushed it through to serve, as we have now heard 8 zillion times, oligarchs and large companies, tech companies. RFK the other day talked about having everyone in the United States wearing smart devices, and it's basically so we can be tracked. And I thought that's insane, because it's not about what we've learned is it's not about health issues. It's literally about tracking us. And it's with Palantir, I think it is, a large tech company. Elon Musk, even though he's criticizing everything, is going ahead with brain implants, and they did this there first over the past week. So it's never ending. It's a never ending, depressing avalanche of truly evil, evil things that we dreamt up for sci-fi, and Orwell dreamt up or not dreamt up, but was inspired by several things going on in the world in his time for 1984. It's all here. And it is really, really frightening, and it's really, really, really depressing. And I find it extremely paralyzing. But painting it just seems so frivolous right now. It just seems absolutely frivolous and pointless. And I can't stop, because this is who I am. And while I'm painting, I think this is just so silly. But I also think about artists who, in times of horror and war, have continued to paint, have continued to create, and how um, we look up to them and we remember them. I don't expect anybody to remember me or care, but all the artists that were labeled as degenerates during World War II, Germany, in World War II Germany, we hold them on a pedestal because they kept working and they kept speaking out. And so it is in that tradition that that I just keep doing. I mean, I may die. I'll probably die with nobody caring, nobody knowing well, a few people knowing who I am, including you guys. But like, I think about artists like Seraphine, who continued to paint and work even though she was starving in France in World War One, I believe it was, and her artwork was lost to history until it wasn't. So maybe my work will float to the surface at some point. Maybe not. I oftentimes worry or wonder if my artwork will even be around, if the if everything about me will be erased electronically online. All the records that are kept through Facebook and Instagram and my website, if all of that will be erased. Well, what if my work is burned? I don't know. I found that the thoughts about that, which it could be, it's not out of realm. I find that paralyzing thought that my life and my purpose is erased. My life's purpose, rather, is erased. But there we are. Anyway, yeah, so I've been thinking a lot, and for the past 3 weeks I've been pretty paralyzed. I've been sick with chronic fatigue syndrome, which is one of the symptoms of one of the illnesses I have, and I literally couldn't stay awake for days and days and days and days and days. I spent 3 weeks barely being able to stay awake for more than a couple of hours. And then the news pouring in and just getting buried by it. So anyway, today is, and now it's like, okay, I can stay up all day. I can finally keep my eyes open. For the past few days, I've been able to keep my eyes open. I mean, if to be honest with you, if I could, I would leave. I would leave Florida. I would fucking leave this place. It's a nightmare. It's a frightening nightmare living here. But right now, my scooter isn't running again. I just had some repair work done on it. It goes 23 miles an hour. I can't get to the grocery store without getting hit. So I'm running out of food. I can't go anywhere. Thankfully, I had the foresight to get some gas. But if it's not going to, if it's going to go 23 miles an hour and possibly die on Route 41 when trying to get to Trader Joe's, there's no point. I just want to go to the store and get a watermelon right now, and I can't do that. So that's where things are here. If I had the money, I would leave. I would just leave. I would just fucking leave. I would go back up north where at least people have some common sense. Because Sarasota is just, it's not just a red state. This is where, this place has been, Sarasota in particular has been ground zero for everything that we're seeing right now. Everything that we're seeing right now. And it has been for a long time. And, I've been involved with groups who have been fighting it. And here we are. So anyway, it's July 5th, and I was thinking yesterday about my history and what makes me so freaking stubborn and unwilling to hide. Because I don't care. I mean, at this point, people around here know me. I've been deeply outspoken. I have been bullied online, bullied in person, harassed. I've been threatened. And I'm just like, I'm out there. I've been in protests, and I know that they've been photographing protesters, and I've talked to cops, and some of the cops know who I am, so, like, why would I shut up now and hide? It's like, what's the point? And what's the point of hiding anyway? What's the point of keeping your mouth closed anyway? They're destroying everything. So I'm going to continue to speak out, but I was thinking, like, why is it my blood is like this? Why is it I can't shut my mouth and go and hide like a lot of people? Number one, I have nothing to lose. Can't go on vacation like some of my friends and neighbors. I don't have that luxury. I don't have the luxury of just getting in a U-Haul and leaving here. I don't have the money coming in. I don't. And that's not new. As known as I am in the area, this place is ridiculous. Let's just put it that way. So I was thinking about why. And this is what I wanted to get to. I made a post yesterday on Facebook. I was thinking about my dad and his brothers and our family and our lineage. And so I found this post I made, I think last year or the year before, and I reposted it, but I also added something, and I want to read it to you. I want to read it because as I'm writing it, it's like, well, that explains a lot because it's the truth. So here was my Facebook post from yesterday, July 4th, 2025. And you can find it on Facebook. The level of red hot FU coursing through my veins goes back to well before my progenitors hopped off the Mayflower in 1620. It goes back to my Wampanoag ancestors, and then having to fight for their lives as a result of welcoming the Pilgrim in their dumb buckle shoes. My family's FU rebellious history coursed through the veins of actual patriots who fought in the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War II, the Korean War, and every war in between. We have been farmers, we have been artists and writers, we have been thinkers, lawyers, and judges. We have been old-timey New England mariners, community builders, and violent mercenaries for this country. We have been individuals who have changed the course of American history and touched cultures around the world, but at our core, for hundreds of years, we have been Americans. We have been no nonsense, don't effing tread on me and mine Americans who don't suffer fools or liars or powerful men who, like today, are hell-bent on tearing down Americans and destroying the country. Cowards who F with the powerless, even when we've had little to no power ourselves or haven't backed down, because FU is in our DNA. And it goes from there. And as I'm writing this, my blood is boiling, and I'm thinking more and more and more. That's the honest to God truth. That's the honest to God truth. And I'm so grateful that my mom did our family tree way back in the 70s when Roots came out. Because we have verification of everything I've said, everything I am. And I'm going to read you one more, the first post, and it's a picture of my dad and his two brothers, and you can find this on Facebook. It's a picture of my dad and his two brothers, and I'm not exactly sure when I posted it. I think it was last February, because I had a MAGA who was at me, and I just got tired of it. It's actually a MAGA that I grew up with, and I got tired of it. So I wrote, The Three Lane Brothers. The three Lane brothers, David, John, and Robert, three vets who fought for our country and community in multiple countries through decades of service. I'm sorry, I'm going to try that again. The three Lane brothers, David, John, and Robert, three vets who fought for country and community in multiple countries through decades of service. Thinking about FDR today and my staunchly Republican father, John, the guy in the middle, the little one, who knew not only FDR, but also most elected officials in Washington for decades, including Thurgood Marshall, men who held my father in awe, and Tip O'Neill, who lived one town over from us. Dad spent most of his life working with and for all kinds of people on every level, from the powerful to the powerless. Thinking on that, and 9 decades ago, that generation watched one man successfully build a cult, seat white nationalists in power, and then tear their country to shreds, spreading chaos, hate, starvation, and death around the world, while his supporters lovingly and enthusiastically and knowingly cheered him on. So as we experience billionaire oligarchs ripping this nation to shreds, divvying up the country for their own profit, while farmers and millions of others watch their lives be destroyed, what do you stand for? What do you stand for? As a reminder, Leni Riefenstahl, Hitler's documentary maker and propagandist, was chief architect of Fox News. She and Roger Ailes designed and built the right-wing message machine. So 9 decades later, after the greatest generation ended the spread of white nationalism and hate, what do you stand for? What exactly do you stand for? And again, you can find this post on my Facebook page. So if you want to read it without me like stuttering over words, which is always nice. So to end, my chronic fatigue has subsided. So I am going to continue doing my work, continue painting, and thinking, how can I get people to act? It seems as though we can't, that we're fighting a machine that is too large. And yes, it is extremely large. And it is exhausting and it's overwhelming. But I watched a man, I watched a video yesterday, or a reel yesterday, where someone said, no, we've got to keep writing our congressman, we've got to keep calling. And we've got to keep showing up. We've got to keep protesting. We've got to keep showing up. And so that's what I'm going to do. I actually went to a town hall meeting where the senator from Connecticut, I've forgotten his name, Chris blah, 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 and Maxwell Frost spoke. And both of them said something that made me feel a little bit better. Not only keep writing, keep calling, keep protesting, but also one act of rebellion is just posting on Facebook, posting on Instagram and TikTok, as silly as that feels and as pointless as that feels. It is an act of rebellion, and it is a way of getting the message out. It is a way of pushing back and engaging people. I've been trying to get people to take action, and it's been, my little efforts have been working on some level. And what I try and remember is There's 340 million people in the United States. A little over 77 million of those 340 million voted for Trump. Harris was 71 something. I can't remember. It was no, it was a little bit more than that. Anyway, now I can't remember the exact number. Sorry, I've lost them. But also, depending on the polls that you look at, anywhere from 61% to 80% of the population is against everything that's going on right now, everything Trump, and MAGAs are flipping. MAGAs have completely had it, and part of it is us chipping away at what we think is, this massive amount of people. It's not a massive amount of people. There's actually more of us that are fighting this than the people that are going along with it, like Fat Pete. There's actually more of us than there is of them. And by them, I don't just mean our stupid neighbors, our neighbors that are gullible and dumb enough to go along with this and are, gobbling up this hate and just reveling in it. There's more of us than there are of these politicians, these businessmen who have taken over. So, what is there? There's something like 70 people in the United States that are profiting off of this administration. 70 or 90, I can't remember. Oh, sorry. Again, I haven't showered yet. I'm not quite awake. But there's more of us than there are of them. And it's us fighting back, us being vocal, us showing up, us calling, us writing, us posting. That's really scaring the shit out of these people. They have the money to invest in propaganda and invest in, well, now ICE, so they're expanding ICE so they can not only, arrest violent criminals, all these guys that are going to Home Depot, as they say now, but so they can expand and come after natural-born Americans. I hate to say it, because once we touch the soil, we are all Americans. But they want to expand ICE, and this mob militia of angry white men to snatch us up, snatch people up, and detain us, and feed the prison corporations. People who are making money off of prisoners, housing prisoners. But we can't stop. We just can't. We can't. So I take strength from my ancestors, my lineage, and the people who fought. My poor Wampanoag ancestors who were fighting, my Pilgrim ancestors. That's in my blood. In fighting injustice is in my blood. So, go down swinging. All right. That's 25 minutes of blah-blah-blah. And behind me is Frida Kahlo. My friend Brenda Waddy went to Spain on vacation and picked that up in Barcelona or somewhere for me. and I haven't figured out what to do with her yet, but so she just sits. She sits on my chair. But Frida was as a human being, is a great inspiration for strength and fighting injustice. So she sits there. Anyway, all right, I'm going to go shower now. Ciao. Ciao.